Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. Again, markets receding, but Sensex Nifty in the green. Green all over in the commodities market. So Manisha Gupta, take it away.
Thank you so much for that, Lata. Well, yes, yet another day, and we seem to be closing this week on a positive basis when it comes to all of these commodities. The crude oil prices after 2 weeks of decline have seen some strength come back, and today, yet again, in the Asian markets, we are trading 0.5% up for the global markets, and that's exactly how the Indian prices also have opened. We are up nearly 3% for this week for the crude oil prices already. Good going for the precious metal space as well as the US dollar continues to decline. The dollar is trading at 15-month lows versus the Japanese yen. The dollar index is trading at a 2-week lows as well. And we are very close to those levels that we saw 3 years ago for the dollar index. So there has been some pressure on that currency, and that's playing out in case of the precious metal prices. Gold is up nearly 4% in last 7 trading sessions, and we have seen 3% of gains come in for silver as well in the same time period. The base metal prices, of course, is a raging bull. We have seen the copper prices trying to put the best weekly gain since the month of November. Aluminum, the fundamentals haven't been so strong as you have continued to see the inventories increase on Shanghai and on LME as well. Zinc prices, after hitting a 10-year highs, are trading quite flat on your screens. But the metal to watch out for and the best performer for this week as well continues to be nickel, up nearly 8% for this week, and that one is trading at a 3-year highs as well. Trading strategies is what we have from Angel, and they have a buy call across board. For the crude oil prices, they're watching out for upside targets of 3,970. They also continue with a buy call in case of the metals as a space. They are watching out for copper levels at 462 on the higher side today.
Well, tough for the market in the mid-cap end today. 1:2 already on advanced decline, and a lot of stocks are seeing quite a bit of decline right now. We've spoken about Fortis, Motherson Sumi, Voltas, Sun TV. A lot of these stocks are at or near the low point of the day. Porinju Veliyath, the MD and Portfolio Manager at Equity Intelligence, is with us now. Porinju, good morning. Always good talking to you. So, a bit of a stress in the market over the last 3 weeks or last 2 months actually. Your thoughts and whether this is a buying opportunity?
Good morning, Anuj. It's true there is some kind of stress. I won't call it a stress, but some kind of correction, which I would call it a healthy correction going on in the market for 2 or 3 weeks, especially in the mid and small caps. That has been more evident. So I think that is not a big news. This happens once in a while in the markets. We have seen it many, many times. So when that starts, when that kind of a pocket of weakness or stress starts, normally there's a tendency to project, a big bear market ahead. People will start using the word, bubble about to burst kind of, jargons. But I don't believe so. Things are very healthy. Markets are looking, not in any kind of bubble territory. It looks very reasonable and healthy to me. But at the same time, we had such a fantastic, year, 2017. Average investors made 30-40% kind of returns in 2017. Even Nifty was up some 27-28%. And smart investors made 80% and 100%. So that was the year which has gone by. So that is reducing the promise for the 2018. And investors have to live with much lower return expectation. That is the truth. And now the budget is over. And budget is just okay. I don't think budget is an event. First of all, to me as a layman, kind of perception we look at, budget is like it's like a lower middle class family budget for India. We hardly have any income. We are talking about this year what we had is something like 15 lakh crores of revenue income, including all the tax, the dividends, all those kind of income for the government, and we have spent 80% of that on the interest repayment, the salaries and pension and defense. 12 lakhs out of the 15 lakhs is spent for that. So basically what I am trying to tell you, we don't have income. It is like a lower middle class family. So what the silver lining, what I am seeing, there's a stage set in the economy because of the recent reforms, for a higher growth and a higher income for the government. This 15 lakh crores should go to 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs and 50 lakh crores in the next maybe 10 years' time. That is the only way India can save itself, and India can serve our people, reduce the poverty, and that's the only way to create wealth. So I think some interesting thing has been happening in the last 2-3 years, creating a stage for a higher growth, especially for higher income tax collection.
Porinju, hi, good morning. I want to go back to that statement you made about, this being a healthy correction for the market. We haven't even seen a 10% correction yet, so it's hardly anything. I mean, 6.5% from the highs of 11,100. Do you get a sense that there could be more on the downside in the very near term?
In general, I think in general it is done. The correction is done, but there can be still, a day of weakness, or some overpriced stocks are still there in the market. They could be correcting further, and some panic in the Sensex in line with the US market for a while, a day or two. So otherwise, I don't see any reason to panic. But Sonia, one very important thing. Now, after the budget, after all the big bull run, we had a 5-year bull run, in fact, wherein investors created massive amount of wealth. After that, it is definitely, it should consolidate. The equity markets have to consolidate. There's no doubt about that. We cannot go on having 20, 30%, 40% every year. So that stage has come now. Now politics. I strongly believe politics is going to be in the center stage of stock market in the next 1 year, maybe 1.5 years time. And this is very important. The value investors or fund managers always try to avoid politics, for better health. But I don't know. But this is the truth. Politics will decide the course of markets in the medium term, and this time is very, very important. And because the India is in the middle of some stage of huge reforms, whether those kind of very drastic economic reforms are going to get the continuity, the direction, the way economy is moving. Those things are in the minds of investors and entrepreneurs in India, and this can make sentiment, very positively or very negatively affected. So that is the year. So this year will be a year of consolidation, during while the political apprehensions also will go away. But basically, I am still optimistic on the investing front.
Fair point. Porinju, so what about themes? What are the new themes right now? I mean, of course, your existing themes are known to all. Any other interesting theme right now?
Anuj, I have to only repeat my themes. I'm sorry because you may stop calling me because I don't have so much of ideas, and in fact there is no so much of ideas in value investing because that's my field. So here, what we discussed some time back about the chore management's changing, or to put it in a decent way, the improvement in the corporate governance in India, especially in India's small and mid-cap companies, in the listed companies. This is the single biggest theme for investors to play. Another 2 more years. 2 years have already been going by. It has gone by. Another 2 to 3 years time, smart investors can create wealth using this scheme. Now you see, I think I heard you just talking about Fortis Healthcare, a company. See, when the promoters resigned, the stock price went up by 20%. Am I right?
Yes.
And when the Supreme Court gave permission for the banks to sell the pledged shares, the stock price went up by 10% yesterday.
Yeah.
Instantly towards the close. I was just watching. What does it mean? So this is the best example, one example of corporate governance, how bad the promoters can behave to the investing community, to the country. And how when they are not there, or when they miss in the company, the stock price going up. So this is there in hundreds and maybe thousands of companies, in small companies in India.
So Porinju, since you started talking about Fortis, let me ask you, now that this the management issue is out of the way, what about the growth story itself? Because there's an impending deal here. There are talks of it, merging with Manipal and becoming one of India's largest healthcare services group. Is there a lot of potential here, you think?
I don't want to discuss the potential. I have, in fact, looking at the development, I also have bought some shares this week, so I don't want to really discuss about this. See, what investors are looking for in core companies is that, they want the existing promoters not in the company. So that's the biggest news for the investing community, for the minority shareholders. There are a lot of such companies. So it seems to be, that Fortis is such a company where minority shareholders love to see the Singh brothers out of the company. Everything else is acceptable. So that is the way our corporate governance have been, going down, declining in the last 2 decades. And I am seeing a silver lining with all the government efforts and the culture changing in the country, the social structure, the structural changes in the economy. Things are leading to definitely much better corporate governance, especially in the small and mid-cap companies. I'm telling you, I am very excited about this theme.
Okay.
There is no need of talking about IT companies or pharmaceutical companies.
You have, in
banking
fact,
stocks.
you've spoken about this corporate governance theme in the past as well. And, one of the spaces or one of the groups that you've liked is the Future Group, Future Consumer, Future Retail, etc. It was a story that you talked about almost a year back. And since then, those stocks have been on a tear. Is there still a lot of value in names like these?
To be frank, I have exited the Future Group stocks. I made very good money for my investors. The stocks moved by 4, 5, 6 times. I have a habit of buying stocks when they have a problem and selling it when everything is perfect. So, so then it is for the large fund managers and for making decent compounding for the future. So anyway, I don't like to comment on Future Group companies at this point of time. They have done very well in the last 2-3 years, created immense wealth for the shareholders and rewarded the minority shareholders. And that is the position the stocks in the Future Group at this point of time. But there are companies still going through struggles. I would say again, the infrastructure theme. See, looking at the macro scenario, India really, really needs to develop our infrastructure. We have been talking a lot, but not much has been happening because of the financial constraints of the country, as I told earlier. So it's not any political party or a government can suddenly spend money like that. We need to create the revenue first, then we have to spend it for the right things in a very effective way. So infrastructure is a segment. I am looking at, we need not 1 lakh crores or 2 lakh crores kind of amount. We need 10 lakh crores, 25 lakh crores, maybe 50 lakh crores kind of amounts in the next 10, 15 years. Then only our 1,300 million people can live comfortably. So that is the kind of deficiency we have in the infrastructure today. I continue to be bullish, but stock picking is a challenge. So maybe investors should create a portfolio within the infrastructure companies. Don't overexpose to one single company unless it is like an Atlantic kind of company. So I would say people can even look at. You were asking about the stocks. Maybe IRB, infrastructure company, is a large company and leader in that sub-segment. It is around 225, but there is no hurry. Market is not going to run away anywhere. There could be companies, I'm not holding IRB. Companies like Techagar Wagon, I think the price is some 125, 30. They had a bad results. Again, there is no hurry to buy. Stocks can still come down because of the bad numbers of the quarter. So it is also available to 1,500 crores market cap. Some of these are emerging companies within the infrastructure. So there could be future mini Atlantis, which I used this word earlier, in the making. When you see next 5 years or 10 years time, some mini Atlantis could be made from the listed space. Maybe 2, 3, 5 of those companies can turn out to be, which they may be today at 2,000 crores market cap, 5,000 crores. They can grow to say 20,000 crores and 50,000 crores in the next 10 years. So that is where you can create huge wealth.
Okay.
But it's not an easy space to pick stock at the same time.
You mentioned IRB, Porinju. I mean, you did make a disclosure that you don't have it, but it's a stock that you like. I mean, why do you like it?
Just like that, it's a nice name. And the stock is at the lower end of the band. It hasn't gone up, not in fancy. And I think these kind of companies have a future. They have been going through some struggle. As I told you earlier, I like companies which are temporarily into problems and with the curable negatives. So that is where I see wealth can be created much easier. But you have to see whether this company is a survivor. Especially, I have been using this word very often. when you pick a stock in infrastructure, especially from the not so clean balance sheet companies, you have to make an assessment whether this will be a survivor. So if you go wrong in that, it's very deadly. So that risk is always there. It looks like it's having a reasonably healthy balance sheet and a good business model. And India has to go for long, far away in this kind of development of roads and other infrastructure. Now in Titagar Wagon also in a stock which can still emerge. They don't have huge order book. Now they are building it up. Now they lost some big money in the European operations. In India, they are still making some profits. I think the way our railways and related infrastructure segment is going to give allocation and new projects being built, I think we have to be optimistic on these companies going forward.
Okay, that was a very interesting discussion we had, not just on the markets, but on individual stocks as well. Thank you as always, Porinju, for joining us. And I hear you're coming to Mumbai soon, so we'll hope to see you once again in our studios.
I'm holding Titagar Wagon in PMS.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for that disclosure. You're holding Titagar Wagons and you recently bought into Fortis Health as well. We got that point. Thanks a lot for joining us. Okay, that's the word coming in from Porinju Veliyath. With that, it curtains down on Bazaar. Thanks for joining us.